Hey everybody, Hamster Sale is here again, this time with kind of the second part to my Roach Ling push series, I guess you could call it. This was inspired by a thread on Team Liquid where a gold level player asked for advice against Forge Fast Expand. Like I said in the previous video, he received a lot of good advice about getting quick 3-base, macroing, getting even greedier than the Protoss player. But I found that Roach Ling pushes against Forge Fast Expand are super effective. And one of the things one of the posters said that I thought wasn't quite so correct was that any kind of Void Ray play would completely smash a Roach Ling push. So I just wanted to show you this against a Diamond level player like myself who goes for Void Rays behind his Forge Fast Expand, and why that doesn't really work if you execute the Roach Ling push correctly. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, like I showed in the other game, Protoss players play super greedy behind Forge Fast Expand. They throw up a cannon or two at their front, only get 1 or 2 sentries to defend, and just are completely unprepared for 7 ranged units at their door, able to focus things down like pylons, and they're walling off structures like gateways and forges. You can focus those down really easy with 7 roaches and a ton of zerglings. Even if the player has really good force fields, which honestly in Diamond they usually don't have good enough force fields to handle what I do. Not that it's an amazing strat again, but at this level of play, that Protoss players is really not able to handle it, and I find 9 times out of 10 play way too greedily behind Forge Fast Expand to hold a Roach Ling push. So we're going to see this guy. He plays pretty well. I watched his replay back again at pretty high speed. I don't recall at any time seeing his money get too high. He plays very well mechanically, just way too greedy. And again, I play this reactively. I'm on Tal'Darim Altar. I don't usually drone scout. I like to just scout with my initial 4 lings, get a very fast Zergling speed. That is important to this build, by the way. I don't think I mentioned it last time. Getting Zergling speed with your first 100 gas is very important. I generally, what I do is if I scout something like if he walls off his his main base and it looks like he might be going 4-gate or something, I usually go massling for defense. So I do like getting speed early anyway. And this is not I'm not going into this game with the mindset of Roach Ling pushing him. It's just something I do every time now if I see the Forge Fast Expand. So I will see this pretty late into the game. I mean, I'm just now getting my lings. I'm going to kill his scout with those, and then I'm going to send one to each base. And if I see the Forge Fast Expand, I am going to kill it. He doesn't even see me throw down this natural. Usually, I actually kind of like Protoss players to see me throw down my natural, just because it does bolster the Roach Ling push. And as we see here, Zergling's moving on a map across the map. You don't want to keep your 4 lings on the scouting probe, of course, because he might try to decoy you to a base where he is not, like he tried to send me over this way. Luckily, I just don't follow probes anyway, and I had already scouted that location. But I now see the Forge Fast Expand, and I think this game, as opposed to the last one, I throw down my Roachborn, yeah, very quickly. There it is. That's a much better way to do it. Last game I was pretty late, to be honest, with my roaches. It did allow me to drone a little heavier last game, but this time I am getting the roaches quite a bit faster. I have my second queen already almost finished. She's going to be able to lay a creep tumor, head over to my natural expo, and start getting me extra inject larva, which we love, for this build, because we're going to need a lot of Zerglings. I'm already starting to get a nice little supply cushion. I'm at 34 over 27. Oh, just punched my mic there. That was clever. And I'm going to stop at around 60, and then it usually, once I get my 7 roaches, gives me a cushion of supply where I can get a ton of Zerglings. So yeah, this guy is going for Stargate, but again, he is Forge Fast Expanding, so he's going to be very greedy with the number of probes he gets. He's already 4 ahead of me. That's about the same timing as last time. Chrono boosting that Nexus, he may do the same for this one. Starting to float a little bit of minerals, but I believe he starts getting extra gases and starts his heavy Stargate tech. There we go, there's the first Stargate. And he's going to start spending some minerals there. Yeah, he's starting to get some extra supply. So I don't think you could really say, I don't know too much about Protoss mechanics, but I don't think you could say this guy's playing very poorly. It's just that he's playing greedy like he's used to behind a Forge Fast Expand. And I'm going to have more than enough to deal with it. I've got 4 roaches on the way, so I'm going to have 8 total, 4 already completed. And this is what I was talking about last game. You want to keep your roaches a little farther back so any probe scouts don't see it. I think this guy did kill an extra probe scout in the interim there, or maybe that was just the initial one. Regardless, sending out my 8 roaches now, and I'm just going to start producing that flood of lings, just like last game. 12 on the way so far. Not quite supply blocked yet, so I had a nice little cushion, and I'm still getting an extra overlord anyway, just because my attention tends to be divided, so it's nice to have supply cushion whenever possible. Now additional 18 lings, a bunch of them finishing, down to 8 more in production. So yeah, I'm going to run to his front with these roaches. I'm looking to either create holes or snipe sentries if at all possible. And I believe I do get this sentry that's kind of poorly placed at the front of the ramp. But again, man, Protoss players not really expecting this most times, I find. Especially if they see your expansion. So he goes down without a problem. No force fields are going to be able to help this guy. Pylon goes down. And this is pretty much game. He does get a Void Ray out pretty quickly to defend. It's at about the 8-minute mark. Not a super slow Void Ray by any means, but I just have way too many ground forces. He's not going to be able to deal with this. I do eventually, and I think correctly, realize I should just go hunting for the Stargate. Oftentimes they're down here on Tal'Darim to try to get to your base faster. So I'm just going hunting for pylons, and we don't want these photon cannons coming in, obviously. And I've already won at this point. I'm, I think, rallying to his base now. These guys are just chilling here. Misrallied those a little bit. But this is what happens when you go Void Rays behind a Forge Fast Expand, and your opponent Roach Ling pushes you. I don't do it in the dark. I see that he is Forge Fast Expanding, and he's just not going to have the units or defense necessary to deal with my push. So yeah, by the end he was floating quite a few resources, but that's because I shut him down, shut down all his production, and yeah, I think that's a good example of what happens when you go for Void Rays behind the Forge Fast Expand. I know there are certainly much better players out there who can execute a little bit better, both Protoss players and Zerg players. Both of us, I'm sure, made a lot of mistakes. We're just in Diamond League. But the thread was started by a gold level player asking for advice, so I think this type of build can be a very good weapon in that type of player's arsenal. So I hope you found it useful. Please mention any critiques you have either way, positive or negative, about this build, about my commentary. And thanks so much for watching.